Welcome to today's deep dive. You might think of the ocean as this like vast, untracked wilderness.
Right, just wide open space.
Exactly. But a fascinating 2025 systematic review we're looking at today reveals that scientists are actually using space-age satellites to track millions of supposedly, off-the-grid recreational and fishing boats.
Yeah, it's wild.
It really is. So, okay, let's unpack this. Imagine there's an invisible highway out on the water. Like in the US alone, you have 12 million registered power boats just moving around without any sort of digital footprint.
And that invisible highway has a massive environmental toll, which is what's so fascinating here. We're talking about physical damage to reefs, toxic runoff, and severe underwater noise pollution.
Which is a huge deal.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at massive cargo ships, they use standard tracking systems to broadcast their location constantly. But small boats, they just aren't required to do that.
Right, they just fly under the radar.
Quite literally. So to actually manage our aquatic ecosystems, researchers had to figure out a way to monitor this hidden traffic from space.
Okay, but since these boats aren't broadcasting a GPS signal, we have to physically spot them from orbit, right?
Right, which is like finding a needle in a global haystack.
Exactly. Because, a fiberglass leisure boat is tiny. It's often smaller than a single pixel on a satellite image. So how are we actually doing this?
Well, it comes down to two main technologies.
Okay.
First, you've got highly sensitive optical sensors. These can actually spot the artificial lights of tiny fishing boats working out on the water at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But second, and arguably more importantly, they use SAR, which is synthetic aperture radar. SAR actively bounces radar signals off the Earth's surface, so it can see straight through heavy cloud cover and even complete darkness.
Okay, wait, I have to push back there.
Sure.
Because fiberglass isn't exactly highly reflective to radar, right? Like if a boat is that small and made of materials that don't bounce the signal back well, how can a radar ping distinguish a tiny fiberglass dinghy from, say, a random rogue wave?
That is exactly the hurdle that required a massive AI upgrade. The older systems really struggled with that.
I bet.
But the newest machine learning models, things like YOLO and feature pyramid networks, they aren't just looking for the literal shape of a boat anymore.
Oh, so it's like a detective looking for footprints in the snow because the burglar's wearing camouflage? Like, you look for the disturbance they leave behind rather than the actual person.
Precisely. Because fiberglass doesn't reflect radar well, the AI is trained to detect specific anomalies in the water.
What kind of anomalies?
Well, it looks for the distinct V shape of a boat's wake, or even just how a tiny cluster of pixels creates an unnatural contrast against a complex coastline. It's identifying the footprint, even if the boat itself is practically a blur.
That's incredible. But here's where it gets really interesting, at least for me.
Yeah.
If this AI is successfully picking out wakes from low Earth orbit, what are we actually doing with this data? It's kind of like flipping on a black light in a messy room.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. But it sounds a bit dystopian, like my weekend fishing trip is secretly being surveilled from space. So what does this all mean for the average person?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it isn't about tracking your individual Sunday fishing trip. It's really about using big data to understand our collective human footprint.
So it's not Big Brother handing out speeding tickets.
Exactly, no. And the results from this review are just staggering. For example, when researchers pointed this satellite AI at artificial reefs in North Carolina,
Yeah.
they found 20 times more boats than traditional tracking methods showed.
Wait, 20 times? That completely changes how you'd manage that area.
Entirely. It's a massive blind spot. And in Poland's Malaysian lakes, they use this radar data to map tourist traffic.
Oh, to see how people were moving around.
Right, revealing exactly how visitors move across the interconnected lakes so they can actually protect the fragile shorelines. And in the East China Sea, they're tracking whether massive fleets are complying with seasonal fishing bans.
So it really gives local authorities the real picture of how waterways are being used.
Exactly. It helps local managers plan better infrastructures and protect the exact natural habitats you want to enjoy.
It completely changes the game for preserving the blue economy. Through this marriage of space-age satellites and, cutting-edge AI, we are finally mapping the dark traffic of our waterways.
We really are.
We're turning an invisible problem into a highly visible map so we can actually protect these ecosystems for you to enjoy.
Which leaves you with a really interesting final thought to ponder.
Oh, what's that?
If algorithms can now spot a tiny, unlit fiberglass dinghy from low Earth orbit just by the shape of the wake it leaves behind in the water,
Yeah.
what other invisible human activities are perfectly visible from space right now, just waiting for the right AI to look for them?